What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Happy 4th of July. It is currently raining where Alyssa and I are from right now. Also, happy first week and first live eviction for Big Brother, and happy Survivor Season 40. The castaways are back home now. So, my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa, and there's a lot to celebrate today, but there's also a lot not to celebrate. So, we're going to be talking a little bit about controversies surrounding one of Big Brother's current contestants and basically how he's kind of an asshole and how CBS needs to do better.
Yeah, so disclaimer, this is all of our opinions, obviously, about this topic, and we're going to talk about sort of different things regarding like Big Brother, Survivor, other reality TV shows. And so, yeah, if you want to listen, you can listen, and if you don't, you don't have to.
Yeah, and another disclaimer, I haven't actually watched any of Big Brother this season, so I've just read about what's happened from like articles that people have sent me, mostly articles that Rachel sent me, but then also one of my friends watches Big Brother and she also was like, "Hey, did you hear about this?" So, yeah, I
Wow.
have like a second-hand perspective. I haven't actually watched this season, so if you think that it's all being twisted by like the man, then oh well.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I've been watching this season, watching Rob has a podcast, like updates on the feed, stuff like that. People who watch live feeds, I'm like, how do you even have time for that? I just stopped my CBS All Access what's it called? Prescription
Subscription.
subscription. Yeah, one of those words. So no live feeds because I feel like that takes a lot of time, but keeping up to date with the other podcasters and seeing what they're saying about the show. And also, Alyssa and I saw a really good article about what we're going to be talking about. So I'll link that down below once the podcast is over, but you should definitely check that out. If you're sort of confused about what we're going to be talking about, I think the article gives a lot of good insights about what is happening in the Big Brother house. And I think one of our main things is that, like, if this kind of stuff is happening in the house, why is it not being shown on television? And what we've seen so far of Jack, the guy who looks like Aquaman, people say, the long haired dude, if you aren't familiar with the show, um, basically has been saying really rude comments towards other people in the house.
Yeah, and specifically, he's been saying a lot of really rude things about the people in the house who are minorities. I don't know any of their names, but like there are people of color who are playing on this season of Big Brother, and he's specifically been targeting them and talking, basically talking shit about them, and none of that has made it on to television. And I guess this is where we say we kind of understand why, because like you don't want to necessarily like create a controversy, but we've seen Survivor like or not Survivor, we've seen CBS tackle like tough subjects before, like in Survivor when Jeff Warner outed Zeke. And it's like, what would it look like if you tried to tell the story of that season of Survivor without that specific element to it? Like, it wouldn't make sense without that element. And yeah, it sucked. It was a bad choice. And Jeff Varner rightly got a lot of shit for what he did. But at the end of the day, it was the right choice for storytelling. And because Jeff made a mistake, a lot of people got to learn from that mistake. And I think that one of the reasons CBS might be ignoring Jack's racism, or at least not putting it in the forefront, is because he hasn't shown that he's willing to learn anything from it. And there are people out there who agree with his views and will be upset if Jack is somehow punished for, like, being told not to be racist.
Yeah, which I feel like it's hard because these people are being filmed 24/7 kind of thing, but like with Big Brother specifically, why just not have the live streams? Like, sure, that's how they're getting the subscription all access. That's where some money is coming from. Like, that's part of the show. Like, haha, Big Brother, watch them 24/7. It's like George Orwell's novel kind of thing. But then if you're going to be a show that promotes like diversity and it's a social experiment to see how a group of 16 people from different walks of life are going to survive 99 days in close proximity in a house while having to live together, do challenges, and vote each other out. I feel like you can't just edit out all of the real life conversations that are being had in the house. Then it's like, what's the point of even being a social experiment if you're literally going to get rid of all of the social experiment aspects and then just play it up to like, oh, Jack really dislikes Kemi because of the one conversation they had where Kemi threw Ovi under the bus. Like, watching that online or on TV, live TV, it really did not make any sense. And then we just see Jack going gung ho, talking to Christy all the time, like, we need to put Kemi up, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so where is this coming from? And as a viewer, if you're not watching the live feeds, like, okay, maybe Jack was put in some negative light on Sunday's episode where he was being strong arming Christy to put up Kemi and backdoor her. But then other than that, like, I feel like these people who are saying the mean comments behind the scenes are being portrayed in a not negative light on TV. And it's like, where is this dislike towards these people coming from? Why is it not shown? And of course, Jack wins HOH for this upcoming week. And we don't have to be like a super intelligent person to know that he's probably going to put up Jessica and Kemi, two of the other minorities in the house. And it's like, of course, they're talking like maybe backdoor Nick or whatever, but like probably chances are this week we're going to see either Jessica or Kemi go.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you can say that we're making this all too political, and it's like he actually does have an issue with Kemi because of their conversation and stuff like that. And it's like, even if that were the truth, and from what I've like seen and read, like that's not the truth, it's like it would still benefit them to show everything that's happened between them instead of just like, if he actually had a problem with Kemi because of something that she said, then it seems kind of like weird not to show other interactions they might have had, or like it's just it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because it feels like we're not getting the full story. And it's like, obviously you can't give the full story, but it's like that seems
Yeah.
kind of important.
I think it's difficult to have the full story when it's a TV show that's like, what, 3 hours a week, maybe 42 minutes with commercials times 3 hours times 3 per the week, and then you have like the live eviction. So if they're being filmed all that time, similar to Survivor, like stuff is going to get cut out. But I think the issue is that when you have live feeds and people can literally see all of the mean comments or racist, homophobic, sexist comments that people are saying online, and then you have the disconnect between the live feeds and then the TV show where this stuff just disappears from the actual TV show. I think that's where the issue is. Like, sure, in Survivor, sure, in Amazing Race, these other reality TV shows, people probably say really hurtful things behind the scenes, and we never get to hear about it or see about it. And it's all just like rumored speculation that people were being mean to other people on the TV show, but like we don't necessarily know because we weren't there and it wasn't shown on TV, versus Big Brother where it's all being live streamed. Twitter, it's on the internet. People have the clips of other people saying racist, sexist, homophobic things, and that's living on. And just to delete that from the show entirely, like, what kind of narrative are you actually saying?
Yeah, it's just like it's weird because it's like not showing these kinds of conflicts then makes people think that these kinds of conflicts don't exist. And it's like people think like, oh, there's no one's racist anymore, no one's sexist or homophobic anymore. I don't see anyone who's racist or sexist or homophobic, because it's like people purposefully tried to hide that. And it's like, you're not, are you really helping by hiding it?
Yeah, I think what was really interesting in an article that I was reading, Reagan from season 12 of Big Brother wrote like a note back in the past, and he basically says, quote, What's the point of casting racial, ethnic, and sexual minorities if production's going to edit out all of the racism, ethnic discrimination, and homophobia that these people encounter inside the house? And then he also goes on to say, if you really want to provide a groundbreaking twist, show CBS viewers how some straight white people talk about gays, Asian Americans, and African Americans. And I think that is an on point comment. Like, what's the point of being a social experiment game to see how these people interact within a house for 99 days if you're literally just going to make everything sunshine and rainbows? Like,
Yeah, like there are crappy people in the world, which leads me to another point. Like CBS has a casting process that they go through. And I'm going to like give CBS the benefit of the doubt and assume that they didn't like intend to cast someone who is racist and sexist and possibly homophobic. And it's like, how do those people get through the casting process? Like, it's just like, is CBS looking for just interesting people no matter how discriminatory they may be? And if they are just looking for interesting people, even if they are like bigots, then why not show the ramifications of like their entire personality, you know?
exactly. Like, no one can deny that Jack is good TV hosting a like house meeting last night, freaking like 40 minutes into his HOH reign kind of thing. That will probably be shown on Sunday's episode. But like, if obviously he's a villain, obviously he's good TV, but why not show these other aspects of him that like makes him the villain that he is on our TVs? And I think there's got to be an issue with casting also. Literally on the article that we'll post in the description after this, there's a tweet from someone saying, I genuinely will not watch the feeds while Jack is still in the house. He literally makes me sick. And then Robin Cass from Casting literally says, if he is literally making you sick, that would be a wise choice. And I'm like, I'm just so disgusted that people in freaking casting and stuff will say that to the viewers of your show. Like, your show is not popular and will not be popular if viewers do not support it. And you're gonna say if it's making you sick, don't watch. Like, where in what world does that even make sense? Why aren't you saying like, hey, sorry that you feel that way, we can try to fix it, or like that kind of thing? And CBS's disclaimer on the live feeds saying like, oh, CBS doesn't support or condone any of the actions of the house guests because like, oh, it's live, like we can't control what people say. I don't think that disclaimer is enough. If you're going to have people saying this kind of stuff on live feeds and it's in the internet forever, why is it not showing up on the television for the actual TV show? Like, bring that there so we can start the conversation about why people feel certain ways about other people, rather than just seeing like Jackson, Mickey, and like, put up three minorities and then the oldest person in the house for his camp counselor role the first week. Like, watching that, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Three minorities and the oldest guy in the house in Cliff are being put on the block to be sent home day one, 3 hours into the game. Like, come on. It doesn't take a genius to put two and two together.
Yeah, it's like how we've talked before on Survivor about how like women and people of color are more likely to be voted out first based on like first impressions. And it's like, how much of your first impression is based on the actual person and how much of it is based on your bias? And so I think that's a really interesting question that shows that claim to be social experiments do need to address. Like, you can't claim to be a social experiment and then ignore like one of the foundations of sociology, which is that diversity creates conflict. So
Yo, exactly. Like, if it's the show that's supposed to be a social experiment and these people, everyone obviously has like inherent biases, it's going to show on the television. And maybe that's why Jackson put up those four people that he did subconsciously. Maybe he actually had other reasonings, like his BS reasonings that he was saying, but like, why is this not a conversation on our TV screen? Sure, you only have 3 hours a week for the TV show, but the larger conversations, People are joking online now that the camp comeback, where the people are going to battle back basically into the game potentially. So David's there, and now Ovi's there. David is African American, and then Ovi is Bangladeshi, I believe. And people are joking that it's going to be like camp segregation or camp minority after these next 2 weeks, when probably Kemi or Jessica is going to go this week.
Yeah, which is like frustrating in its own way, but I haven't seen the show obviously, so I don't know enough to comment on that, but
Yeah, I just think it's like wild to the point that it's like funny, but it's like not funny. Like,
yeah, it's like funny, but it's also cringy and you kind of don't want to watch because you're like secondhand embarrassment, but then also anger and like
exactly. Like, it's a lot of emotions. Even watching the live eviction yesterday, I'm like, I feel really gross. Like, we should not be supporting this TV show if they're going to blatantly push things under the rug and allow certain actions to go without reprimand. And sure, like Jack was talked to in the diary room about his actions, but from comments that we've like read online, it doesn't seem like he understood or got the hint about what production was telling him, or that it's actually a big deal and not just a slap on the wrist kind of thing.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see like going forward what happens with that because I feel like it's one of those things where we won't know how the season plays out until it plays out, obviously. So,
Yeah, I think it's something, if you don't want people to complain about something that's said on the TV show, don't have the live streams, and then people won't know what is said or what is not said. Then, similar to like Survivor, it's all just speculation and rumors, and it can't be proven or disproven. So, if CBS really hates people that are like messed up and angry about this, rightfully so, then like they should just get rid of the live streams, then you don't have this issue, or edit the live streams and don't make them actually live. But when you see the live streams be on Jack, he says something rude and then it suddenly cuts to the fish or cuts to a different room, you're like, come on.
or here's an even better idea that requires less work from CBS. Don't cast people who are homophobic, sexist, or racist. Just don't do it. It'll be perfect.
Yeah, or just have some bias training before the TV show starts. So people, at least when they're doing their actions, like they're aware maybe more of what they're doing. And it's like, even last season, people would describe Swaggy C, another African American male contestant, as aggressive. And that's why we need to vote him out, because he's aggressive. And I'm like, you couldn't pick any other word choice for this? Like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah. So have them take a sociology class or something. But yeah, all in all, like we're not saying that like CBS needs to like burn in a fire or whatever. We just think that they should be more cognizant of the way their contestants reflect on them. Because even if they put up that disclaimer about like we don't actually believe this, if they're not doing anything to actually condemn it, then that's on them. And fans have a right to be mad if someone is being bigoted, and fans have a right to call them out. And yeah,
I think there's a disconnect between the TV show being a social experiment and then actually reflecting the values of the United States American people. Like, obviously, these kind of beliefs do exist in our society today. And if it is a social experiment, why are they not being shown on the television screen? Like, they're casting for diversity, and people are often called like the token X, the token Z, the token Y. So it's like, if you're purposely casting people for the diversity, why not show the qualms that they have to go through?
yeah. So let us know what you guys think about this whole situation down below. Let us know, I guess. Don't tell us if you think we're wrong, because we're not going to believe you, honestly. Like, we've thought about this. We have thoughts. Yeah. But let us know what you think. And yeah.
Yeah, so thank you all so much for watching. Also, if you have any other like video topic ideas that you want to see us do, let us know in the comments, whether it is Survivor related or other things. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.